is a Bramble Jam podcast. Hi, I'm Bran, and I love When Calls the Heart.
Hey, it's Panda, and I like When Calls the Heart.
I'm Dan, and I despise When Calls the Heart.
And I'm Daniel Lissing, and I used to be in When Calls the Heart.
And this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast. Oh, man.
My goodness. What a day.
gosh.
What a day. This is a big day.
Yeah. People said Jack was dead, and I
He's
said,
not.
No. He's not dead. He's right here with us.
He's right here. Daniel, welcome to the pod.
Thank you so much for having me, gentlemen. I'm happy to be back with you again. I watched Erin's interview last week, and
At one point, Daniel, she got you and I confused. She thought that I wasn't crazy about When Calls the Heart. She thought they were talking about you.
No, I heard it.
It was a whole rigmarole there, man. I'm glad we cleared that up. I didn't want you to be in the doghouse.
Shoot, I would have been getting a few text messages going, "What are you saying in public?"
Yeah,
No.
in public. Yeah, I like that. I also I didn't listen to the whole thing yet, but you were on Paul Green's podcast for like 2.5 hours. So we've got you booked for 5 hours today. Is that cool?
Oh, wow. Honestly, mate, he reached out and he knew I was in quarantine in New Mexico for a job, and he's like, "I got you. I know you can't go anywhere. We're talking. We're doing this podcast." So it worked out nicely, and it was a good opportunity for us to sit there and catch up. I just don't know if anyone would sit through 2.5 hours.
Oh,
of me
people are loving
talking,
it.
but-
People are loving it, Daniel. Don't you even
I love
sell
a good
yourself
long form.
short.
Long form. Grass is greener.
The grass is greener. It's a good pod, man. Paul knows
pod.
what he's doing.
Paul does know what he's doing. Love that guy. We're talking about season 1, episode 9.
And you remember it right off the bat, right,
You
Daniel?
were like, you have it all memorized.
I do, yeah. I have a photographic memory for all the scripts that I read, so I'm good to go. What
to go.
page number do you want to start on?
Yeah.
We're actually going to have you act out the whole episode, all the parts, if you don't mind.
How easily, before he gives the synopsis, how easily can you slip back into the American Jack voice?
Pretty easily these days.
I was hoping you'd just give us a little taste right now.
Sure. I mean, what do you want me to say?
Just
I mean, you know what? I'm just going to start talking like Jack. Elizabeth, you're my one. You're my only one.
That was wild.
that is
Oh
just
my
like
gosh.
this. Man, that's acting right
man.
there. This guy.
In fact, I'm going to, well, maybe I can try and emulate your accent. So give me some words here, and I'll do your accent for the rest of the show.
My accent for the rest of the show? That's
My
bold.
accent for the rest of the show?
Oh, man, that's good.
That's bold.
I love it.
I'm joking. That was terrible.
It's a little bit on the hayseed side of things, but I guess
But
I'll
you
take
don't
it.
understand.
That was a bit
That's
too much.
spot
That was a
on.
bit too much. My apologies.
No, that's the good. A good impersonation has to go above and beyond. So you nailed it. Listen,
Thanks, buddy.
You talked like Jack for a second, and I immediately got hot. I was like, what is going on? I don't know what to do here. It's amazing.
Bran, I'm flattered.
Oh, well, you're welcome. We're talking about the change of heart. What do you, do you remember, obviously, we picked this episode because it worked date-wise, but when you turned it on, like, how quickly were you like, oh, I know exactly what's happening in this episode?
Yeah, no, I had to watch the whole episode to remember, the whole episode.
God bless him.
I remembered little parts, but I had forgotten a lot as well. It was a fair few years ago now, so I'm watching it, and it's just a one episode of television, and we did a bunch of them for When Calls the Heart, and so I'm like, just as I'm seeing it, I'm like, yes, okay, now I remember. So yeah, it's not something that I can. I mean, I got a general timeline of the sort of story beats between Jack and Elizabeth, and I completely forgot that that he put in for a transfer and actually left town. I was like, I left Coal Valley. Yeah, at the end of that episode, I didn't remember doing that. So
what you're saying is he's gone.
Nice to watch again.
He's gone a long time. Daniel, is what you're saying?
Well, now he is. Yeah.
Before we dive into this episode, do either of you have any questions about When Calls the Heart so far that you would like, or just any statements or feelings that you would like Daniel to know
I mean, Abigail in the cafe seems really important. No, I don't really have any. You guys, I told you this before we started, Daniel. You and Krako, your chemistry's wonderful on the show. It just seems like, and she told us that you guys tested. It was you and Andrew Walker, but you two tested together a bunch for the show, and so it just right off the bat, it doesn't seem like you guys have to like figure out the chemistry. You guys had it down from the get go, and I think that is really what elevates the show above everything else.
Well, actually, I heard the interview. I didn't realize that Erin had auditioned so much for the show. I only did one audition with her. I only went in for the show once for one day.
Wow.
And that was the one chemistry read with her, and then it was done. So I didn't do the previous auditions that Erin went through, but and I didn't know that she did as well until I heard the podcast. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Learned something new.
How much did you love Andrew Walker's mustache?
Yeah, what episodes were those? Like 4 and 5?
Yeah, 5 and 6 or something.
5 and 6, yeah. Yeah, great. I mean, he's just he's a great guy. He's a great actor. We are in touch to this day, and yeah, he's just it was a quality mo. What can I say?
It's a great stash.
You can do it too, man. If you just get rid of this. You never will though, because you love it. I can tell. You got something going on here, man, that could be special. I'm just saying.
I think so.
It is.
Can you do this in just a soul patch?
Oh my gosh.
How's that? Oh my gosh, that looks so good.
Man. It's scary how good that is.
Really?
That's good stuff.
It's
there.
so hard because it's like at this point it's a security blanket.
Do it again. Do it again. Say, give me all your money.
Give me all your money.
Oh, that's perfect.
Wow.
Yeah, you got it.
No, that's spot on.
That's good stuff.
In case you guys didn't see the episode, I'm going to give you a synopsis. We're talking about When Calls to Heart, Change of Hearts, which originally aired on March 8th, 2014, and it went a little something like this. Elizabeth is ending the day in the classroom, and in comes Jack wandering on into the classroom, as he does, and things are happening right away. You see the sparks are flying, and he's like, you know what? I think it's date time, girl. I want to go out to dinner with you, and you don't have to cook this time, and it's going to be really great. And everybody's loving it. This is amazing. Jack walks outside, and he sees another Mountie, old Patty O'Reilly. Jack immediately greets him and is like, what's going on here? And also, where's your horse? In comes the horse. A girl is riding it, and they're confused, but Elizabeth is not. She freaks out, and they're sisters, and Sister Julie is there. Not Sister Julie. They made it sound like if she's a nun, she's not. But it's fine if she was. So she's in town, and Jack is like, well, what's old Patty going to be doing here? And Patty tells him as he's getting scheduled and kind of settled into his the jail cell he's going to be sleeping in. Hey, I've been doing this for a while. I want to kind of settle down. You put in for your transfer. I'm here to kind of take over for you. And Jack is like, well, you couldn't have come at a worse time, seeing as how I have a date tonight. But what can you do? While that's happening, you guys remember Abigail's Cafe?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah.
It's open.
Oh, good.
It's open for real this time. And you remember how her and Mr. Gowan had the 50-50 split?
Yeah.
He comes in there. He's eating. You feel something weird, some sort of weird energy going on there. And he is kind of like, hey, you want to get together and talk about business.
You think it's just business?
Business.
It's not just business, boys.
Whoa.
It's never just business. Jack tells her why he chose this moment. Don't know, but he chose this moment to tell her, hey, I think something fishy's going on with the mine and safety. I don't think they're all on the up and up. Gowan may be bad guy. And so she's got that in the back of her mind, and also the fact that, you know, she's flushing 50% of her profits out the door and down the toilet. I said flush. And so she's very not sure about this, but eventually she says, okay, we can get together, whatever. So Julie, the sister, Sister Julie, she's out in the woods one day. She said nature was calling. which kind of caught me off guard. But when nature calls, nature calls. And she discovers this cabin in the woods, and she goes in, and there's a fella who comes up behind her with a gun and is like, hey, what are you doing? It's Nathaniel. We know him. We don't know him, but Nathaniel is badly injured, and she's like, we need to bring you into town. And he's like, I'm not going into town. And so she's like, lay here. I'll help make sure that everything's on the up and up. It's time for the big date, y'all. Elizabeth comes down the stairs looking ravishing. She sees Jack. Jack walks in looking dope. They look wonderful together. Walks outside. Where are they going? There's only so many places. Well, they're going inside the next door to eat some food that Abigail's making. Her kids are there to wait on them hand and foot until Jack tells them to scram. Read the room, kids. They want to start dancing. So the kids leave, they dance, and it is a wonderful time. And Elizabeth goes to her sister, and she's just like, this was awesome. And her sister's like, you gonna get married? And she's like, that seems soon, but is it? I don't know. Very exciting stuff. Girl talk, you know the kind, Panda.
I do.
Yeah, you love good girl
love
talk. So back to Nathaniel in the woods. He's getting worse and worse, but he's very adamant. I don't want to go to town. I'm not interested in that. I can't do it. Abigail shows up to Gowan's office a little bit early, starts poking around to see if she can find some stuff about maybe the company cutting some corners, making things unsafe. And then he walks in, and he's like, all right, what's going on here, type of thing. The next day, Jack is finally come to terms with the fact that I have to tell Elizabeth about what's happening here. And so he goes to tell her, and she's like, no, this is awful. I can't believe this is happening. And he's like, oh man, I'm sorry. And they go on their separate ways, and she's very sad. We get these guys on a horse, and they seem very intense, and they're like, where'd Nathaniel go? What's he up to? He's going to get us in trouble. So they seem like bad guys. Cut back to Jack. Jack goes to tell Elizabeth, hey, I've decided I'm going to stay here. I don't care what my bosses say. I'm going to make this work out. And she's like, I can't live with myself if you do that. You have to go. You have to follow your dreams. And he says, okay. So he goes riding off on a horse. And who comes into town? Nathaniel. Julie brought Nathaniel in because he's sick, and no one knows who this guy is. They're all very concerned about it, but Julie's like, it's okay. Jack's gonna be here to save us, and Elizabeth's like, Jack's not gonna be here to save us. And at the very end of the episode, we see these posters that Nathaniel and the gang are wanted, and that, my friends, was When Calls the Heart. Change of heart. That's exactly right.
That was so good.
Wow.
Thank you.
That was a beautiful, beautiful synopsis, my friend.
Thank
You
you.
got an ovation from Lissing over there. It's impressive.
It was good.
I did it. I did it.
I just I like the music in the background. It reminded me of Home Alone. It was intense.
Yeah, that's immediately what comes to my mind when I think about
When Calls the Heart.
I think about Home Alone. That's
For
exactly
sure.
right. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back. We'll break this episode of When Calls the Heart down. But first, a quick break here on Deck the Hallmark. That was a good break.
Oh,
that was a good break.
for sure.
That was a good
Absolutely.
break. How'd you spend your break, Daniel?
Well, I just sort of sat here and stared lovingly at your faces, gentlemen.
Wow.
That's a good
Rightfully
break.
so, we are the best looking
That's a
three
good
here.
break.
So.
We all went out to eat, so I don't know what Daniel was doing.
That's where we were gone. I don't know what you were.
Man, did you steer
There's
the
a
ones on
poster
the
behind you
Yeah,
there.
he-
screen?
that's-
Yeah.
There you go.
He was like, why aren't they moving?
Yeah.
I'll wait about. We have 4 segments to break this episode of television down, and we always start with a hot take where we share exactly how we felt about this episode. Panda, you've been high some weeks, you've been low some weeks.
Yeah.
I'm interested where you are this week. Share with us your hot take.
Okay, guys, I was a little concerned about this episode going in because we came off of a conclusion week.
Typically, the odd number episodes set up, put the ball in the tee. The
Yep.
even number ones hit the ball, and then we go back to an odd. That's just kind of how it's gone so far.
And so I was a little concerned about going, that. But here's the deal. It starts slow, this episode, but then as soon as Nathaniel is introduced, it picks up. And then you have a little bit, you've got the love, you have the official courtship going on here. This episode is a win. It picks it up. You get a little bit more going on. You get to meet the sister of Elizabeth. I mean, this is good stuff. This is prime beef right here.
Would you say it was?
Oh, the most of existence.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Daniel, what'd you think of this episode of the show that you were in?
Yeah, it's really funny. I don't traditionally like watching myself on television, but I watched it from a different point of view, not from an entertainment point of view, but from a sort of watching my acting and what works and what doesn't. It was nostalgic for me to watch it. I felt that because it just sort of took me right back there on set with all my friends, and I remember shooting that. I remember how cold it was, and when we're riding in those sort of that forest there, the group of trees, it was freezing. It was so cold that day, and so for me, watching it wasn't so much more about the show and being entertained by it, but I was certainly entertained by the nostalgia of it, and I sort of miss my castmates watching it.
How would you grade your act and give it a letter grade?
Like 3 out of 10, but
We'll get to letters and numbers next.
Yeah, we'll get so I'm with Panda on this one.
3 of 10? No way, Lissing. You're way better than 3 of 10.
Yeah, I'm a bit hard on myself, mate, when it comes to the acting side of things. So when I watch it, there's some like good beats there and good moments, but there's also a lot of, for me, I saw myself, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? I guess I was kind of wasn't leaving too much to the imagination. There wasn't much I wasn't showing. I was showing every.
But this is the episode where Jack puts his cards on the table. Like this is if you're ever as a performer, like you can't hold anything back there. Like he's announcing his intention to court Elizabeth. That's a big deal. You got to play that with all your cards on the table, man.
I love that you're defending.
Yeah, it's a 10 of 10.
It's him.
Listening.
Yeah, it's him.
Look, mate. Yeah. I maybe 3 out of 10's a little harsh, but no, it was all right.
It's a solid 4. Solid 4.
The smolder alone gives it a 6, right?
Absolutely.
A base 6.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
This side of knocking somebody over with a horse, this is as good as it gets, I think, for him so far.
Yeah.
I think he did a great job.
That was a great scene.
Did you actually knock somebody off on the horse, or was that a stunt double that did that?
Which episode was that?
Andrew Walker trying to get away.
Yeah, and he's driving. He's trying to get out of town on the horse, and you actually like knock him off the horse as he's trying to get out of town.
No, I did that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I did that. I got bowled over. I got bowled over by that horse a couple of times actually, and no, I did all that. I did all that stunt work for that night. That was super fun.
Wow.
And then there was the time where he hit the guy with a shovel.
Yeah.
In the woods.
Wild. Come on.
You're very handy on that horse. I'll give you that much. Five out of 10. You know what I'm talking about? 5 out of 10. I'm with you, Panda, on this one. I thought this was a really great episode, especially for setting up the ball. It did a fantastic job of setting up. I'm very excited about the next episode.
I am too.
One, what's going to happen with Nathaniel? I'm interested to see how long Julie sticks around. Not necessarily because I loved her character or anything, but just because she's there. Like, why? How long is she going to be there? And then how long Jack's going to be gone? Pot can't be gone long.
I guarantee he's back next episode.
Daniel barely remembered that he was gone. Yeah. So I can't imagine he's gone for very long. So all of that leaves me very excited for the next episode. And so that makes this one quality because it's not always the case. Love this episode.
Prime beef?
Prime beef, pal.
Grade A?
Grade A.
Wow.
Grade A. Dan?
Yeah, I mean, it's still Win Calls the Hard. It's still not my thing. I will say this, of the setup, because every odd episode is a setup episode for the evens. Of the setup episodes, it sets up a lot here. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's a sister, there's Jack being gone, there's the Scuggins gang or whatever they're called. And there's a fairly seminal moment in Jack and Elizabeth's relationship where he basically doesn't pull any punches, which is the best scene. You can put it down to all the feels too. Like when he just looks her in the eye and's like, hey, I think I was a little bit confusing last time I tried this. I want to date you. Like, that's what I want to happen. That's a good scene. That's a good scene because the performances in that scene are great. I mean, she is full on. That's what she wants. She's taken aback by it. He crushes the scene. It's a great scene. The rest of it, I mean, it's sad to know that all that's going to be resolved in episode 10, but I guarantee you Jack will be back and they'll figure out the Scuggins gang. But the fact that we got a step in the Jack and Elizabeth relationship was fun.
Daniel, I know you're not going to find this funny because you're a distinguished fellow, but last episode, your character paints a background. And very small, he paints you and Elizabeth.
The Mountie and Elizabeth kissing.
And we don't know what it is at first, and all the kids are laughing, and we kept saying that you painted a butt. And we thought it was very funny. And I think I just wanted to tell you that and let you know that in my mind, yes, you did paint Jack and Elizabeth, but you also did paint a butt.
Right, and what makes you think I'm a distinguished fellow? That's insulting to me.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's fair.
It's Australian accent.
It really is. Everyone from Australia is very
just better
distinguished.
than us.
Yeah, it's just better.
because whenever you think of an Australian, it's like they're distinguished.
Yeah. Oh, they actually locked down. It's time for all the feels. Part of the show we talk about what in this episode gave us feels. Panda.
Listen, the low-hanging fruit obviously is the first date where they're dancing. I'm not going that direction. I'm going to go a different. I'm going to swerve, and this is where I'm going. I am going Julie meeting Nate for the first time. There's some fireworks there.
Some injury sparks there.
Okay, listen.
Guy's got a bullet in his side.
Yeah, there is, but there's also there's some tender moments there. I think she's into him. I think there's something there. It's a shame that I think.
Do you think it's because she's never seen like an injured guy before, and there's like, oh, bad guy?
I think she likes the bad boy.
Julie makes some choices in this episode.
She does. Not
they're
great
hard to
ones.
stand by. But sure, if you want to say there's sparks between her and the dying guy, then go for it.
He's not dying. He's got lead. Oh yeah, I forgot he has lead poisoning. Yeah. Okay, but I think, but he's a good-looking fella.
Yeah, dead sparks.
And then listen, the bullet hole. I mean, that's a tough guy wound. That's a
tough guy wound.
That's a tough guy wound. There's some smolder.
Daniel, what gave you feels as you were watching this?
Yeah, and to that point, I mean, that actor there that plays Nate Tolliver, I believe is Tolliver gang. He's
Scuggins, Tolliver.
That's Scuggins. The Scuggins gang.
Yeah, you get it. Do they go to the Scuggins? Is the Scuggins gang later on in When Calls the Heart? That sounded like Jack.
Why not?
Sounded like the Jack. Sounded like Jack there for a second.
That's it. He's a great actor named John Reardon. He was really cool. He did a couple of episodes there. So you'll see what happens with that storyline. I think that Julie, Charlotte, her name is, she's a great actor as well in her own right. So, she's a city girl looking for some adventure in the Wild West. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, my feels were, definitely the Jack and Elizabeth stuff. When I was watching that, there is chemistry there. There is some unspoken moments there that are definitely the standout, and for me, the heart of the show. So when I saw that again, and I'd been talking about it a little bit, with you guys last time we spoke as well, that chemistry with Aaron and I as actors. When I watched that, and when I saw that happen this episode, that gave me the feels. That was nice.
Man,
So good.
man, if every Hardy doesn't listen to this episode, I mean that's what they're after. They want to hear that right there.
Oh gosh, yeah. I'm actually gonna go with after the fact. I joked about it, girl talk, but I love the girl talk after the date. Like it gave me feels. Like there's just give me a second. Give me a second, guys, before you judge me. Think about at the time when you first went on a date with someone, your wives, and afterwards you were so happy. I felt that excitement. You didn't feel that?
They've literally been doing. They go rowboating like every other day on this show.
But the date, it was
I get that there's a date, but they've spent a lot of time together.
I think what Brand's trying to say is like I think there's
The
something inside of
gushing-
every guy that wants to be gushed about.
the reason that
about
we
friends,
didn't see
The
Jack
gushing
go
has
back.
happened
Well,
because
stop it.
you
My
just
feels,
calm down.
stop it.
Yeah, but you're doing a bad job.
Stop it. What I'm trying to say is, you know what? I like to imagine we didn't get to see the scene, but Jack went back to the jail cell and he gashed with his pal over there.
He gashed.
He gushed with his pal in the jail cell. The other guy, right? They gushed.
Stop talking.
It was a gush time. Jack, did you gush?
I was gushing.
The reason that they're gushing is not because of the first date. It's because they think Jack is going to propose the next time he sees her.
But she's also thinking like this is true love. Like
It
she's sitting there-
starts with
it starts with one.
It starts
one
with
thing.
I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you
Yeah,
try.
that's right.
It starts with gushing about the date, and then it expands to, oh my gosh, this could be
I
something.
just think you have a better point if this happens after their first like lunch rowboating date or whatever, because they've done this a lot already.
I think
Like,
you have a better point if you don't bash my all the feels for no reason.
Well, you had to explain it. Neither one of us understood it.
No.
It wasn't just me.
I understand the premise of like, you know, you
You
want to
already
be the one
heard-
who's gushed about.
Gush, gash, and gush.
gosh.
That's right.
I think this episode was super special because, you know, they'd been tiptoeing around it for so long.
He gets it.
You know, and we finally get to the point where Jack finally says to Elizabeth, "No, consider this an act of courtship. This is on.
Yep.
This is real. This is happening," and that's really exciting. I think the audience got really excited about that. But of course, you got to throw in that element of the obstacle. And that obstacle is, hang on a second, I have to leave town now. I've finally done it. I'm finally committed to, like, you know, giving this girl a shot, giving this relationship a shot. And now I've got to go. And that's the drama of it, you know. So yes, he's excited about it, but there's that element there of, like, when he gets that letter coming in, he's totally crestfallen, going, "What have I done?" You know.
I love it.
Yeah. So for me, that's, you know,
That's my
the-
feels is
that's
him
fine.
announcing very specifically the courtship. And since I already announced my feels, I'd rather just ask Daniel a question, which is, without spoiling it for us, because none of us know, give me an adjective or a noun or something to describe Jack's proposal to Elizabeth without spoiling it for us.
I could give you any word to describe it.
Yeah, that you, yeah.
Okay. Magical.
Magical. Yeah, I thought so. I thought it might be.
It was pretty magical. Yeah. So yeah, guys. I mean, when is that? That's geez, you got a few episodes to go through.
Don't
before
tell us.
then, gentlemen.
It's next
I'm
episode.
not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
He
man.
comes out. He does a full magic show, pulling things out of the
this your
hat.
card?
This is a card. This is a rabbit. This is a ring.
It's actually magical. So you don't know what episode or what season?
No. We know that something may not go break your way in season 5. We know that much. But we don't know anything
I have
else.
a feeling something happens in season 5. I can't put my finger on it.
It's all right.
You'll be fine.
I've already announced my allegiance to Team Ghost Jack for this new season. So you coming back as a ghost is what I'm holding out hope for in season 8, Daniel.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath too much.
Well, the good news is you don't have to hold your breath because you're a ghost.
By choice, by the way, not by choice. I mean, that would be great. That would be just so great to work with everyone again.
If they asked you to come back
Whoa,
and do a
whoa,
little,
whoa, whoa,
wait a minute.
whoa,
If they
whoa.
asked you, if they asked you to come back and just show up, Elizabeth's really work. Like, look, she has a kid with Jack, and she does everything to get through the paces and decides she's going to pick one of those two, and just something about her can't let go of Jack. And you got to show up
as a
one
give your
evening
blessing.
and give your blessing to her. You're in for that?
Oh yeah, but I think, of course, I would be. But look, guys, I actually caught the last 15, 20 minutes of the first episode of season 8. I've changed my opinion of who Elizabeth goes with, whether it be team Nathan or team Lucas, and I think that she, I think that it's all going to work out by the end of this season. That Jack's not going to be required to for her to make the decision.
Who do you think she should end up with since we got you?
Well, if I know Elizabeth, she'll prioritize her son first and foremost. And family is the most important thing. I think that they'll go that. But who will she end up with? I've literally seen 15 minutes since I've left, and that was the other night. So I haven't really watched too much of it. Sorry, guys, my little puppy just...
You're fine.
I was talking with Paul the other day, and I was like, I think she'll go with the Mountie again. But I changed my mind.
Wow.
After watching that, after the end of that, I mean, Lucas's mum's just come to town.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Don't spoil anything for us.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, well.
So I just checked it out. But yeah, I changed my mind there.
Well,
But she can't double Mountie up.
That's my thing is in my interview with
that
Aaron.
sounds dirty.
But you know what
I can't double
you don't say
Mountie
double
up.
Mountie up under any circumstance. But you just, in my opinion, it's too close to home for her to her dead husband to marry another Mountie seems too close to home to me. That's why I think it's the other guy, even though I've not seen a second of it.
Yeah, that makes sense, brother. That makes
Perfect.
sense.
I love it.
Good.
But we have him on record. He would come back, Hallmark. He would come back and be Jack for an episode. He'd be in for that and give Elizabeth the blessing that the last thing she needs. You're telling me, Hardee's, you don't want that? Come on.
That's just good freaking television.
It's good TV.
I'm sick of giving Hallmark good ideas and not getting paid for it.
It's happened way too many times.
I'm not bitter. Let's take one more quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk about Wait What's. We'll talk about Hopes and Valleys and all sorts of other fun stuff here on Deck the Hallmark. Wow, you actually can do magic.
Man,
that was amazing.
very crazy,
Yeah,
Daniel.
thank you guys. Thank you. You like that one?
That was beautiful.
Very good. Impressive. Very impressive.
Unbelievable.
It's time for the Wait What. It's the part of the show we talk about what in this episode made us go, wait, what? Panda.
There's only one thing, Bran, and it was in fact the date when Jack first walks through the door. There are students standing all around, and as a former teacher, I can tell you, on dates, you don't want students nearby. You just don't want them nearby. I felt uncomfortable. There's some creepy stares going on.
Well, especially creepy old Forgive Me Paul over there. That kid, the older kid who's by the door doing the full Children of the Corn bit, like this one, like I didn't like him at all.
No, I didn't like it. I think I would have been out on that date. That's bad planning on Jack's part. I think you need to just say, hey, not them around. I'll bring you the food myself. Just get the kids away.
Yeah. That's fair. Daniel, any Wait What's for you?
Any what? Sorry?
Any Wait What's for you?
Any moments that you were like, I don't understand
like,
this.
wait, what?
Yeah.
I got you now. Okay. So I just had to catch up there, gentlemen. Not really. I mean, honestly, not really.
No, it was perfect.
It was a perfect episode of television.
Airtight.
It's fine.
I have my biggest question in this episode is Julie shows up. Jack walks outside. Is talking to his Mountie pal, and he's like, "Where's your horse?" And then she comes around the corner on the horse, and he's just like, "She wanted to make an entrance." Are you telling me that she was waiting there for her sister to come out, and she said, "You know, it'd be a fun bit if I came around the corner on a horse," and she did it.
When you say entrance,
Yeah.
I'm a coming.
I love the idea of her just going, you know what? I got some time. Might as well hop on this bad boy, go around the corner and come on in. It's just going to be for fun. I loved it. I love it for her, but it did make me go, wait, what?
Yeah, she makes some choices in this episode. The entry into Hope Valley is a choice. The meeting a gunshot victim in the woods and telling no one in a town where she knows no one Also a choice.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. There's no character in their right mind who meets a gunshot victim in the woods. She literally knows, like, no one. She doesn't know the town at all. And she's like, I'm not going to tell anybody. See, that's the thing. I'm out thinking the room here. I'll let him die. That's what I'll do. And then I love the fact that the Mountie's sleeping in the jail cell. I still am kind of like, why in the world is this guy? We can't find
He's
him a
setting
bunk
up shop, though.
in the jail cell. God bless him. Jack has a camera, and he takes Elizabeth out to tell her he's leaving on a romantic picnic to take pictures of the mountains. And he says that the Mounties gave him this camera for investigative purposes. Where is he developing these pictures? Mountie Jack, where do you have a dark room? Like, do you have a developing room in Hope Valley?
Yeah, so I think the Mercantile has a Photoshop out the back. Mate, I don't know, you know. I read
Print
the
on
scripts,
demand.
I say the words, I do the actions, and you can't question too much.
Man, what do we have to pay, Daniel, to have you here for every episode? Because I love this guy. Man, I love how they just...
I'll be back anytime, by the way, Dan. Anytime.
Man!
I enjoy your take, guys,
I
by the
mean,
way.
we have so much on tape that's good for us in this interview. Thank you so much. God bless you, sir, as always. Lastly, the fact that they have to just explain to the nth degree how a bullet will kill you is a riot to me. She goes, the doctor says, he has sepsis, and everybody just looks blank. And then he says, lead poisoning, and everyone still looks blank. And Abigail goes, from the bullet. Where else would it be from? Did he take a bath at Lead Pond down from Coal Valley? Like, there's no other.
Why did he put a pencil in his body? What was he thinking?
He has sepsis. Speak English. Lead poisoning. I don't get it. From the bullet. What bullet? Like, it's just, where else would he have gotten this from, guys? I don't understand.
He was shot?
I'm confused.
Big news.
Yeah,
Big
that's all I
news.
got.
It's time for Hopes and Valleys. As part of the show, we talk about what in this episode gave us hope for the future and or we're a little bit worried for the future. Panda, Hope, Valley, what you got?
Julie is both a hope and a valley.
That's
for
fair.
me.
That's fair.
Hope. I like having Julie around. I like the fact that she kind of throws some kinks in the plans.
She
of
rides
everybody.
in on a horse for
rides
no
in-
reation.
She like hijacks
Harbors
Elizabeth's
fugitives
class.
dying of lead poisoning from bullets.
I think she's a laugh a minute, and I'm a big fan. She just completely train wrecks Elizabeth's lesson on bugs. It's a blast.
All right, over under. Don't look at Lissing. Over under one more episode for Julie in the series.
Oh no! Oh, she's going to be in it multiple times. I would say over.
Over.
She's over.
All right,
way
got you on
over.
record. Good.
Am I right or are we not going to? Can we get an answer now?
No,
Is she?
he did a great job with the poker face too. I thought he was going to give something away.
No. I won't give anything away unless you want me to.
I love it. That's great.
Do we want him to give something away?
Just like
Is she in more than one more episode?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Good job, buddy.
I knew it. I know it. She's big time.
She's big time.
Big time. Valley, I'm scared she's going to have her heart broken by Nate.
By the
fugitive?
outlaw
Yeah, and I don't
of
want
the
to
Scoggins gang.
and I don't want it to happen. Like, I think Papa Scoggins is going to get Nate, and it's just going to be bad. Like, I just
Papa
think,
Scuggs.
and I'm concerned. I don't want her fragile heart to be broken.
That's fair.
this is a little unfair since you know the future of the show.
Yeah, you don't have to. He doesn't have
Just say whatever you want to at this point, I guess.
For me, hopes and valleys.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Well, look, I'll just jump way ahead. I just hope this show continues to delight its audience for many seasons to come. That's the hope for it. And the valley is, I don't know. I think, most people that watch the show and are committed to the show just take all the positives out of it and don't really analyze it too much.
Yeah.
Like, where's he developing his pictures, for instance?
Which good is, oh, hand, did I freeze you?
You did, but
You
you're
did
good.
for a second.
Now you're
Did I
good.
freeze there?
You're
Sorry,
good.
But you can,
I lost you. Okay. Yeah, you don't want to analyze this show too much, the scripts of the show. You just want to enjoy it for what it is. So.
yeah, of course. How could you not like this guy? I mean, just being honest.
Class act.
What type of ghost do you think Jack would be? Like, would he be mischievous? Like, would he be
No,
like?
he'd be like super, super like scary and haunty. You know, he'd be like, if Elizabeth chooses someone, he's gonna turn into like a poltergeist, just really, really giving like Nathan or Lucas an extremely hard time. And then the show will take a very, very sharp left-hand dark into Dark Alley, and then the ghost of Jack will it's a different show now.
Lucas and Nathan are both dead on the porch. And it says Team Nobody. And you look over to Jack and he's like this.
Really dark lit.
Yeah.
Look, no, in all honesty, if he was a ghost, he would come back with light and love and guidance for Elizabeth in a beautiful, positive way for the betterment of her and her family and all the people of Hope Valley.
That's the answer.
You would
That
push
is
one
the
of those
answer,
guys.
but-
You'd push one of those guys off a horse. Be honest. Be honest. You'd push one of them.
You'd never see me do it because it'd be Ghost Jack.
It was a tree. It was a tree. Something hit me. It was a branch. My hope and valley for this episode. It's I don't know. I don't know how to talk about this one. It's Gowan and Abigail. I'm intrigued. I would
mine
say.
too.
Okay. Are you? I'm nervous because I do think he's a
troubler.
He's a troubler. He's a bad dude. I think
the troubler.
I think he's a bad dude.
My hope and valley is all in one sentence. Is Gowan hitting on Aunt Becky?
Yeah.
Like it's like I just
Everywhere you look,
I don't know, man.
it's
Like,
Gowan
That's a weird
hitting
one.
on Becky. How rude is what I'll say.
Nicely done.
Thank you, guys.
Nicely done.
That out of the kind of relationships on the sparks and the potential relationships through this series, Elizabeth and Jack is my favorite for obvious reasons. But what happens with them and that chemistry and that tension, they're both such fine actors. And you'll see that, they go on a journey. I'll say that. I don't think I'm giving anything away there. But those two go on a journey. And certainly when I was nearly finished with the show, that chemistry between them, that relationship between them, good or bad, I'm not going to say, was so watchable. I really enjoyed watching those two.
I do feel like Gowan. I don't know. I would assume it's because he's a good actor, but every time he's on screen, the show seems to be more watchable to me in general because he represents an actual threat, and this show doesn't have many of those. And I feel like he represents something that very much is needed in every television show, including When Calls the Heart and Hope Valley, where everything comes up daisies. Like you need something like that. And the Gowan character, you immediately like, all right, what's he up to? What's going on? Like it's the scene where Jack confronts Gowan about something and they kind of have a stare off like CSI Hope Valley, like early on in the show. Like that's good stuff. Like he does represent a very needed commodity on the show that it doesn't have enough of, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Martin is just look, he's when you watch him on set without the music and the editing and the reactions of everyone, his performance, just watch him next time, he does nothing. He doesn't have to do anything. He's so subtle.
Wow.
He's really good. You know what I mean? Like he's just there. He does his thing. He'll give you a little look. And then they add the music, like the Gowan bad music on the nose, and then they'll do the reactions of like, I hate Gowan, and then that adds to it. But if you just watch his performance, you'll see how subtle and great it is.
Wow. There you have it. Good
Very
little
cool.
tip there.
Who was your favorite in the 5 seasons you did the show? Male actor to work opposite when you were doing scenes with this guy. It was just a blast.
Martin. Yeah. I mean, Martin Cumming and I are great mates, and he, I was time being the lead of my own show. You know what I mean? So to be the male lead of a popular show was something that was new to me and a responsibility, and him being a sort of someone that had done so much work before was a great source of guidance and information and support because we were mates, you know? So yeah, I loved our friendship. I loved working with him. I think he's just one of the most talented dudes. And yeah, man, so that was the best.
Love it.
Really quickly, Pocket Watch. Pocket was in this episode.
Pockets is in this episode.
And
Is in this
Pockets
episode,
crushed
good.
it. Didn't say a word, but he doesn't need to.
He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
He's Pockets.
That's right.
And then
He announces his presence just by being on screen.
He does. It's
Yep.
Pocket. And then
Smolder.
the smolder count. What we do this. You're here,
Yeah,
so it's awkward.
sorry.
But how would you rate?
We do rate out of 10 Jack Smolder for the episode. We do that.
Oh, that's so cool. Nice.
How would you vote?
So last week I gave it a 7.5, and I think announcing the courtship and
Yeah.
doing so just stone cold, you got to amp it up. I'm going 8.8 smolder factor for Jack.
Wow.
8.8 smolder factor.
Yeah, I hate to do this. I'm a little down on it this week.
Wow.
8.3. I think. I don't
was-
remember what I gave it last week, but I'm not as high on it as what I'm trying to say as you. I think there's room for
The
improvement.
suit,
I hope
though,
for
the
the
suit
engagement.
that he was in
Yeah.
for the
Oh,
the
the suit
date?
is top
He
notch.
does.
But the look, it's all about the look.
You just, the last
So
half of
you
the
thought he
episode,
was-
he's a
you-
Debbie
so-
Downer, I think is what you're focusing on.
No, I think that there's always room for improvement, and if I give him a 9 or a 10 on this,
Man.
there's just not a lot of room for
I
improvement.
just think this is as smoldery as he's been.
he's fine. I
You
don't
know,
know.
what in the previous 8 episodes is better smolder than what we got this week?
I don't know. Last week was good.
The corduroy vest is what I brought to the table last.
Corduroy vest, don't give me that.
Don't get me wrong. I think that this is his best week for Smolder, but I'm just saying I can't go 8 point. I can't go. What did you give it?
8.8.
That's too high.
I would pace yourself, gentlemen, because I think, if I remember correctly, there might be some, coming up in the next few seasons. If you're going to go through every episode, then you're in for some smoldering treats.
Gee, that's what I'm saying. Dan. You're going too high too
Well,
fast.
let me just ask the man himself. You did 50 plus episodes of this show. What would you rank your smolder out of 10 for episode 9, season 1?
This was good. You know what? You know what I saw in my eyes this episode? I was shattered. I was so tired, and I didn't think that I had the spark that I had previously had in some of the. I haven't seen those episodes for a long time, but there was some great moments. There was some legit moments. But as far as like the looking in the eyes and giving the sparkly eyes, I'd give it like a 9 or a 10 for effort, but I think it landed around a 6.5 or 7.
6.5. But he gave himself a 3 out of 10 acting.
No, but
So
I think
just wanna make sure.
he's more honest on this one. I actually agree with you. It wasn't your best.
I thought it was wonderful. I will say, the Mountie outfit doesn't do anything for Bran. There was a good bit of Mountie time in this episode. The suit, though, brought it to another level. So I'm right there in a 7-8 range. If you were to, put a gun to my head, I don't know why you would for this scenario, but if you put a gun to my head and you said, "What do you think about Jack?" 7.7 for Bran.
7.7.
Yeah.
All right. There you have it.
Yeah. We always end every episode. We usually read an email about what's calling my heart, what is kind of making you happy these days. But I'm going to give it to you, Daniel. What's calling your heart? What's kind of bringing you joy? What's giving you life these days?
Yeah, that's a great question, mate. I think it's the little things. I got a little puppy. That I've got an amazing wife. My career is going well. My businesses are going well. So I think it's just the little things that bring me joy. I'm not. I used to stress out about a lot of things, right? I used to get everything was like a big deal or worth stressing over or this and that. Now it's just like, what brings me joy now is just simple things. No dramas, all good. So
what kind of puppy do you have?
Well, he's a King Charles Cavalier. You want to meet him?
Yeah, let's go. Absolutely.
All right, hang on a second.
I want to meet him, but I want Jack to introduce him to us.
All righty. Come here, bud. All right, here he is.
Oh, look at that guy.
There he is. This is Oscar.
Yeah.
And hey, buddy boy. Yeah. So this is Oscar Lissing, and he's a good boy. He's a very good boy.
I love it. Fantastic, man.
I love it. That's calling my heart right now. I'll tell you
that's
that.
great.
That was wonderful. Daniel, fantastic talking to you again. So much fun. This isn't quite 2.5 hours, but I think it'll do.
That's right.
Any parting words that you want to share with the viewers, the listeners, and kind of when they can expect Jack Ghost, like what episode?
Well, Jack Ghost, I wouldn't hold your breath, although I will say the Hallmark will come back anytime. But I just want to thank the fans very much for making this show so popular and for supporting Jack so much. And I had just so much fun playing him. So that's it. Love you guys.
It's very sweet.
That's to the
Love
fans.
you too, man.
How would before we leave? How would you?
I just realized I blew 3 strapping men.
No, I caught them all. Don't worry, buddy. That's right.
Saved it
Right
for
over
later.
there. That's
How
right.
would you? How would you vote our kind of smolder for this episode?
I want to see your smolders one by one. Brand, go.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah. So go like this, guys. That's right. You go like this and then turn.
Okay.
Look at this guy.
Oh my gosh.
God.
All right.
My heart just started
All right,
pounding.
Is it on me? Is it on me?
Yeah, it's on
It's
you.
on you.
Was that good?
I do it again.
Give him one more. Give him one more. Give him one more. One more. Here we go.
Hold on.
All right. Number one, know where your camera is.
Yeah.
No.
Right there. Okay.
Okay. And then slowly bring your eyes up to camera and squint them slightly. There it is. There it is. There it is. Yes. All right. That's great. All right, Panda.
All right.
Oh.
Well,
A little smile there at the end.
Where you landed at the end, that's where we want to see. We want to get there
Early.
Get
early.
Get there as soon as you turn around. So you turn around and bang, you're there.
Okay.
There it is. There it is, mate. Yes, very nice.
That's great. That's great.
All right, love it. All right, Dan. Whoa.
Wow.
That was like, what's my turn to take out the trash?
That's right. Yeah, I was going for smolder inquisitive is what I was going for.
That's exactly what it looked like, mate.
Wow. We did it. We did it. Daniel, we loved it. Thank you so much for joining us. You're the best. We're going to be back tomorrow with one more episode this week, everybody, to wrap up the week. A dog named Christmas. All right. We'll get there tomorrow. Until then, Merry Christmas.